everybody. Welcome back to Gotta Get Running. I'm Phil Hargis. It's good to see you again, and alongside me is Chris. Chris, good to see you as always.
Hey Phil, how you doing, man?
Doing good. Just came back from a football game. I took a weekend off not from running. Did my long runs earlier in the week. Went to the Cleveland-Cincinnati game last week and watched our friend's cousin Andrew Whitworth play. Bengals lost to Cleveland. Squeezing a little football there amongst the running.
It is that time of year, man. It's the best time of year. I probably say this every time on Gotta Get Running, every time this year on Gotta Get Running, how I think the fall beats all other 3 seasons combined. It's just the best time of year for football, running. School's back in, so we're selling shoes at Pacers. It's just a good time of year, man.
Dude, it makes me happy too, man.
Yeah.
This great weather, the coolness. It's awesome. The winter with the snows right around the corner. But of course, marathon season. Everybody gets excited about that.
Marathon season, half marathon season. It's just good road racing out there, and we're excited today to actually bring in a guest we've had on the show many times, and let's welcome in the guest, Steve Neerman. Steve, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. How are you guys?
Good, doing great.
Awesome.
Steve is the race director and founder of the 4th annual Woodrow Wilson Bridge Half Marathon, which will take place October 7th. 6th, October 6th. I knew it was
You had a 50-50 shot.
Last year was the 7th.
Well, I was thinking, I knew that was the weekend was the 6th. So October
6th,
October 6th,
2013, the 4th annual.
4th annual.
It just seems like the other day that you were in here doing the first one. So
It does.
it's been four fast years,
They have gone by fast.
and we'll be up to 100 before long. And
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
they'll be
Making me
talking
tired.
about you with very fine words.
Legendary, right?
Well, before we get too far here and into the show here, Steve has actually brought a special guest here, and
We warned you about doing this kind of thing,
I know.
Steve, but he did it anyway.
Let's have him introduce his special guest.
Yes, I did. I brought a big fan of the Woodrow Wilson Bridge Half Marathon. I ran into him weeks ago running around Washington. It's his old stomping grounds. He's back. He's rested. He's tanned, and he's running. He's running and he's training. And I'm so glad that he's with us. And he's a pitchman for the Woodrow Wilson Bridge Half Marathon. Woodrow Wilson himself, Woody Wilson.
Hey Woody, thanks for joining us here on the show. Now, Steve, how did you find Woody and were you able to get him down here to come down and do the TV show? And does he have any TV experience? Because TV wasn't really that popular back then.
Yeah, I know.
That's true. No, but he's we've been doing a lot of work out in the public, so we've been practicing being on TV. I think he's getting a little more comfortable. But yeah, the new technology is a little daunting.
He is on Facebook. And where do you find him?
He's on Facebook. He's on Beat Woody on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he's getting a following. There are a lot of people around town that have seen him, that are following him, that are looking for him to train with them, and we're out there.
Well, we've got some cool photos of Woody to upload to the Beat Woody the Facebook fan page, and I'm definitely gonna become a fan as soon as I get home. I'm looking forward to that and tracking his progress.
We do. On the Beat Woody side, we have a picture of Woody in front of his old stomping grounds in front of the White House. So we have him in front of the Washington Post. We have him in front of all sorts of various important historic landmarks, and now we have him in front of the Capitol.
Well, your race is kind of all about. I mean, it is 13.1 miles, so it's a difficult challenge, but it is all about having fun. So that's kind of cool. How'd you come up with the idea of having the mascot?
Yeah, well, it seemed to work really well for the Nationals, and anywhere you go in this country, people, when they think of the Nationals, they ask about the president's race. So we thought it would be an interesting tie-in to get Woody out there as one of the presidents, bring him in, run against the presidents. Historically, it makes a lot of sense because Woodrow back in 1912, he beat Teddy Roosevelt and he beat Taft, which is two of the Nationals.
Which are 2 of the 4 of the Nationals.
And 5 of the
running
Nationals.
presidents, right.
So
right.
you'd think all these years they would want a rematch. So he's here, he's training. They're avoiding him. They're avoiding him because they're afraid.
So did you take him to Nats games?
We've hung out in front of Nats games. The fans
awesome.
have gone nuts.
Yeah.
They absolutely just have loved him. They've had their pictures taken with them. They always ask wherever we go, "Are you going to race the Nats? Are you going to race the Nats?" And we're putting out the challenge. Invite us, and we'll come blow you guys away. We run. We don't sit there and drink beer and eat hot dogs like mascots in a baseball game. We are out there training. So we look forward to it. I'm putting the challenge out. Woody can beat all 5 presidents of the Nationals race.
So will Woody be? So you have 2 races this year: a kids run, a kids run of 1.31 miles,
Right.
and you also have obviously the fourth annual Woodrow Wilson Half Marathon. So which one will Woody be running?
Oh, Woody's he's got to run the 1.31 mile.
Okay, good.
Because it's named the Woody Wilson Run.
Okay.
And so it's the Woody Wilson Kids Run.
And it's a kids run. Okay.
Right, so he's going to be out there. He's going to run with the kids. He's going to run out and back. It's a beautiful course, out and back along the river, up almost to the bridge and back. And the kids get to finish in the same finish line as the half marathon. So they get the professional banner and the finishing tape and all that kind of stuff.
So I got the date wrong, but the time is
you
7 a.m. this year.
Got it. You got the distance right too.
I did get the distance right. So
That's even more challenging almost.
the time is 7 a.m. this year, which is a change. So 7 a.m. start for the half, and then what time start the kids?
7:15
Okay.
for the kids run. The half starting at Mount Vernon, the kids run in National Harbor where the finish line is.
So remind us about that. The half marathon, voted one of the top half marathons in the country by Runner's World. Remind us about the event, the course, and some of the particulars about this year.
Yeah, we're really excited that Runner's World in the February issue named us one of the 27 best half marathons in the country. It was an online poll that was taken, and it wasn't a surprise. People love our course, and they call it the Presidential Run.
That's perfect.
Well, yeah,
That's
now we got the president to run it, so we're all set. It is a beautiful course. It runs up to George Washington Memorial Parkway, and it goes over the Wilson Bridge, and then into National Harbor, and it runs a loop around National Harbor.
Okay, and then talk about the logistics before, and people that haven't run this course before. I mean, you don't just drive out to Mount Vernon and park there and then run to the finish line. Tell us how to get to the start line.
You won't be able to do that very well. Because it's a point-to-point course, so we bus runners from Hoffman Town Center in Alexandria and from National Harbor, and we bus you to the start, and your job is to run to the finish. And if you park at Hoffman, we'll take you back to Hoffman from the finish line. So you need to read the instructions. They're on the website. It's really important that everybody reads the instructions. So that they get all the logistics that are going on.
It is a different sort of race. If you haven't run a point-to-point before, I mean, definitely a lot different than running your regular road race where you start and finish at the same spot. But I think that's a big part of the charm of the event is it's something different and something that people can look forward to that it isn't just an out and back race, which makes it really pretty neat.
Yeah, or a loop course.
Right.
I mean, you're actually right from the start. You're heading toward the finish. I hate those out and back where you're running away from and you go, oh my God, I got to come back this way at some point. So yeah, it's different.
So fourth annual. So talk about maybe some of the things that are different this year, or that some things that the runners can expect.
Okay. Well, the start time is probably our biggest difference, and we need to start a little earlier so we can be off the Parkway and open it up because there's always this constant runners and car traffic that we have to work with the general public so that we don't disturb people too much with our races. So that's one of the big changes. Having the kids races. A big change.
The VIP package is new too. Why don't you talk about that?
VIP package, we had it last year, but we didn't do a lot of promotion with it. But the VIP Awakening Pass is the ability for anybody for an extra $75 to be able to go to the to be taken to the start in a passenger van,
right.
And then the van hangs out at the start, and then we have people waiting for you at the start line so you can throw your clothes,
your gear in
and
there.
typically it's cold
awesome.
that morning, so it's really good to have somebody with a laundry basket waiting for your stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
pretty cool.
throw it as you run. You don't have to put it in the baggage truck and wait an hour for the start.
Top shelf service, man. That is awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we take it to the VIP tent, and it waits for you. And when you get there, you and a guest can have a VIP breakfast with us. And you don't have to wait in line to get your clothes.
So
back.
unfortunately, that's sold out. But for the fifth one, you can sign up early for that.
Absolutely.
And a hallmark of your event every year is the medals, and the medals are back, and everybody loves the medals,
and
right?
I should have brought one with me. They just got here from China today.
Yeah. And so it's a very memorable, and the runners do love your medals. Do you have one of those like spinning things this year?
No, we go with the static ones.
Okay,
I think you spin enough
got it.
running
Yeah,
distance.
That's right.
You get dizzy.
Another big thing about your race every year is there's always a great elite contingent out there. I think your course record is 102 or something like that. So, do you expect those type of runners out there this year?
Yeah, we do. Actually, we have our deepest contingent this year. We have several dozen Ethiopian and Kenyan runners and some top shelf Americans, which is great. Fernando Cabada is coming back this year, which we're really excited. He finished second last year to Dariba, and he's coming back. He really wants to win. He just won a race. There was a championship race that he just won. It escapes me.
New Haven or no?
One of those.
Yeah.
We're in a really
USATF championship.
Yeah,
he
he ran a solid
right,
run. So he's very stoked. So he'll be back. Kellen Johnson, our defending champion, she's back this year, and so I have competition for both of them. I have some 101 guys. If they show up, they're going to run.
Right.
And this is a fast course. Kellen's she has gotten down to low 113s. She says she could break 113. I've got some 111 and 112 women to push her as well. So we've got prize money over $15,000, and I have to put a plug in. Thank you, competitor group, for pulling out race money, because when you did that, our phones are ringing with elite athletes who wanted to come to our race and make a living, and that's great. I mean, we'll always have an elite component, even though we love everybody in our race, but we'll always have people at the front.
It's really neat to see those guys, and it's a championship race for a couple different things, right?
That's right. So Roadrunners Club of America has granted us their national championship this year, so we're excited about that. And we'll have some prizes there and trophies and awards. Also, the Potomac Valley Association of USA Track and Field, for the 4th straight year, has granted us their half marathon championship. And so people who are PVA members, if you're not a PVA member and you want cash, you need to sign up and become a PVA member, because that's that will entitle you to a couple $100. Pay your entry, right?
No doubt. Some of the other things that you guys do a great job with are the charity components. You can talk about that a little.
Yeah, Same Six Charities are back again this year, and the great thing is that our charities always pitch in and work with us. They man water stops, they do package stuffing, they work at the finish line, which is fantastic. So again, the one that's close to Phil's heart, Back on My Feet, which Phil does a tremendous amount of work as a volunteer with them. We have Child and Family Network Centers, which is a preschool network here in Alexandria. We have the Washington Area Women's Foundation, which gives grants to organizations that boost women and girls. We also have the Rebuilding Together Alexandria, their Veterans at Home program. They go in and help veterans fix their homes, with necessary repairs, not cosmetic. And Autism Speaks. And then also, Running Brook.
Of course.
She runs marathons all over the country and all over the world. She's in Ghana right now, from what I understand. I told her she's probably the only blonde in Ghana, but
she does a lot for Alexandria kids and schools in Alexandria. So that's great.
She's very excited. She does a lot of volunteers for us. But we also have people at the water stops. We have a school, H. Flowers High School, that does work with us each year. They send high school kids to our water stop to help man our water stop. We have a try group called Strive to Try, and they're coming out in mass to put together a water stop for us in National Harbor.
And with regards to volunteers, I think I saw on your website that you don't need any, that you've got all the volunteers you need. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure. We can always use volunteers. That's funny. It's a free T-shirt and it's a fun time. What I've encouraged people when they've emailed and said they're injured and they can't run, I say, I'd love to keep you involved. Would you like to be a volunteer? And a lot of people have taken that offer. And I say, can I bribe you with the T-shirt?
Yeah.
So. Volunteering is fun. It gives you an appreciation, especially like you volunteer at a water stop and you understand when you're in a race how that water stop got there. I think it's important for all runners to try to volunteer at least one race to get an idea of how much work goes into it, how much planning, how much behind the scenes for just a simple water stop.
And speaking of all that planning, let's just go ahead and get into, as we're taping this is on the eve of the government shutdown, and no decision has been made on what's going to happen with the federal government. I'm sure you have contingency plans that you're working on, like what's going on, what's going to happen if there is a shutdown tonight, and how could that affect the race?
Well, a couple of days ago, my hairline was somewhat over here, and it's been receding since. But so
you should have seen that head of hair before.
Yeah,
it was like Woody's hair.
It was like mine.
Yeah, it was full. I envy you, Woody. Very much so. So what's going on now? With the uncertainty is the word. Our first 8 miles is on a national park, and anybody who's following this knows that the national parks will close as as of midnight tonight, and we're the reverse. Ours is open all the time, and in order to put a race on the highway, you have to close it.
Right.
So all the other parks are closing,
Right.
and they won't be open. So we're the reverse, but it's become a matter of working on. I've got my crew working on a race on Sunday. I've been working on contingency plans. I've got one of my volunteers watching the news to text me as soon as they hear something. But it's a really interesting topic, and it's very complicated. We definitely want to have a race this year. It's very disappointing to think that we may not. It looks like there's going to be a federal shutdown, but at any second there could be an agreement, and we could be back in business. But there comes a certain point in the week that we have to make a decision. We don't want to take it down to Saturday. People are going to be flying in.
Right.
People are making plans.
Right.
We're signing contracts with vendors. We're putting down money for barricades and things. So we're working on a plan so that it's somewhere in the middle of the week. If this isn't resolved, we have a contingency, and the contingency is to postpone it and have it at another day. And again, that gets tricky. We have 6 different municipalities that we work with.
Right.
So we have to look at all their
And
schedules.
that's unprecedented. I mean, that is, people should understand, that is really unprecedented too. I mean, we know what happened in New York last year, and you just can't cancel. I mean, your race isn't the size of New York, but
they had one municipality.
Yeah, I know.
New York City
You've got a
Police.
lot of moving parts here, so
We do.
being able to potentially do that is pretty incredible.
Yeah, so we've overlaid all the calendars, and
Yeah.
then the Redskins,
Right.
You know, because we're near the Redskins, so we draw on the police. So if it's a 1 o'clock Redskins game on a race day, the police are going to say, well, we're kind of strapped there. So we're looking.
And they're on bye this week, just for the
Yeah,
they are,
which is
yeah.
good.
They are, and so that's why this is a good week for
Yeah.
for
Right.
us to do it. So we're looking at the potentially, and this is not for sure, potentially November 10th if we have to move the race, and that would be a week before the race that Pacers is putting on
Yeah.
for the USA Track and Field National Championship, 12K. So we're hoping that City of Alexandria can work with us and work with you guys. We don't take the footprint that you'll be taking. We're
Right.
a much smaller footprint in Alexandria. But if all goes well, we'll have the race now. If it doesn't happen and it's at no fault of ours, and we have no control over that, which is good and bad, because we're not to blame. We didn't cause this. We want to have a race maybe in a month from now.
later, yeah. Well,
And
you got to continue to keep training, but hopefully this Sunday is the day.
Yeah, what are the best ways to find the latest information on the news, your social medias, and everything like that?
Website, Facebook.
And that's WilsonBridgeHalf.com.
Yes, that's our website. Facebook is just Wilson Bridge Half. We'll be tweeting. If you're signed up for Twitter, we seem to be growing in Twitter. Not that I'm doing anything to help that.
This guy is. This guy,
He
I'm
is.
sure.
Well, he's got his own site, but no, when he tweets, I mean, when people listen, it's really funny. We're getting quite a following out there.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, I saw you out there, and so we're encouraging people to take pictures and post them to the website. So take
awesome.
pictures of them with Woody and get themselves on the website, because we've been becoming proficient in taking people's pictures. And these phones, I don't know how to work these crazy
I think
phones.
Steve has a flip phone.
Nobody knows
you
how
know,
to download the new iOS. No one knows
It's
how
like
to.
I know.
Can you see this? It's a flip phone.
That's Woody's old cell phone, right?
This is, yeah, exactly, and I've maintained it for him. But people just want their pictures taken with them,
Yeah.
and we're encouraging it. So
Some of the other about the race, or what is the premium? You got the shirt done and Tuyo already?
well,
or-
actually, the premium this year is an embroidered spike bag, and again, I failed to bring it to the
That's
show.
all right, okay.
It's a beautiful hand embroidered spike bag with a zipper, and I think
Love
people
it.
are going to
Something
really dig
different.
it.
Yeah, totally.
We
Love it.
did have some T-shirts.
Yeah, where did the shirts go?
Yeah.
I think no.
I
they weren't
do-
down.
I do like
there were
that-
some T-shirts that we had that were very attractive.
I think
Yeah.
Steve might have wandered off with them or something.
Yeah.
It could be.
But yeah, it's really cool that everybody gets a spike bag, which is really kind of cool and something different.
It's
so,
different, and
yeah.
you'll wear it. But people will be able to use it. It's really high quality. I mean, frankly, to be totally honest with you, I paid twice what you pay for a
Yeah.
Tech Tee.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure.
it's those Tech Tees are pretty cheap.
Yeah, they are now,
But
yeah.
this is really nicely done, and I think people will be excited about it. We're selling T-shirts at the expo.
Cool.
If you really have to have a T-shirt,
Yeah.
we sold the Cotton Mocks long sleeve,
Yep.
and they came out beautiful. I was just showing you guys the colors. They really sing with the colors of the bridge and the light blues and the dark blues.
and Steve was telling me he's got 4 ballrooms now at the host hotel for the expo and everything.
So bring your ballroom shoes, and if you want to dance, that's, up to
That's
you.
fine, too.
Woody will dance with you.
Yeah.
We have tall ceilings.
Steve will actually dance with you too, right?
I will. I may be in Woody at that point, hiding from the crowd, depending on how things go with this government shutdown.
So it's actually it's a hiding place too for you.
It is. It's very interesting being
hair is
being
very
around
similar.
Woody. He brings out a lot of cool emotions in people. They laugh when they're with him.
Now, is Woody's vision getting better over the years, or is it?
It is. The glasses, the technology in glasses has become really stellar. And,
Did you tell him about laser eye surgery that they have now?
well, we haven't gotten to that yet because I don't want to ruin his image of the glass because I think that makes him look really cool.
does.
Cool.
If
I'd
you
actually
take
like
it
to see
away,
glasses
people
like that.
will think he's like Obama or George Bush or something. The glasses really make it. But we're planning to going up to Princeton because he was president of Princeton and hanging out in Jersey where he was governor. And we want to go to one of their football games and see if we can run across the field
Nice.
during halftime of their football games. So that's one of the next after the race. Well, we took Woody back to his home birthplace down in Staunton, Virginia, and they loved him there.
And you also have a sad story about his wife passing on the day that the bridge was.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
Sad and an interesting, ironic story. Yeah.
Probably, to me, one of the most ironic stories in his, Woodrow Wilson died in 1924, and he had gotten ill, so he was president in 1912, and then again in 1916, and he would have run again in 1920, but he was sick. His wife actually ran part of his presidency near the end, not unlike what Nancy Reagan was doing. And so he was very ill, and when they retired to Washington, he just wasn't doing particularly well. And then he died in 1924. Well, his second wife lived on to 1961. And
1924, and his second one lived in 1961. What's the difference?
You're good
in
with
that?
math. You're
that's like
37
almost
years.
40 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, 37
Wow.
years. And the amazing thing was that on the morning the day that the Woodrow Wilson Bridge was being dedicated to Woodrow Wilson, she died that morning. She
Wow.
never made it to the ceremony.
Wow.
Which is like really sad. I mean, she lived that long, and it would have been a really cool day for her to see her husband get put on a bridge.
Yeah.
And then, years later, people would bitch about that bridge.
Well, the bridge is really, it's an iconic bridge. I mean, it's the highlight of the race, and crossing that bridge is pretty amazing when you're crossing with hundreds and thousands of runners that will be out there. When did the bridge get redone?
That was 2008 for the bridge, and then the pedestrian path opened in July of 2009.
Got it.
And then we came out in 2010.
So your runners would come across the bridge in the pedestrian path, and it is just breathtaking, and it's an awesome
It's
sight.
a fun finish because you're like in there tight. It's got a kind of a shoot to the straight shot to the not straight, but like winding through to the finish line.
the
It's really a
National
cool
Harbor,
finish.
yeah.
It's like the
With on
stadium
left
finish. And I
the
saw a
awakening
race the
is-
other day on TV, and they had the same barricades, and I was like, there's some
Barricades are
professional race
cool.
in Europe, and I'm like, how cool. Well, who thought of that?
I mean, the runners are gonna love that. The kids are gonna really love that.
The kids, they'll get the same professional finish.
Yeah, and you've always had like the very professional sort of that VIP feel to your race as well. Tell what's going on at the finish line this year.
Finish line, just the usual.
Beer.
Not just beer.
Yeah.
Craft beer.
Craft beer. Yeah, I mean, it's a great festival. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's downplaying. It's like one of the best finish line festivals that you'll have.
We try. And along the course this year, one thing new is that we have midshipmen working with us, manning the water stops as the captains of the water stops and helping out with logistics. And I hope to have a midshipman help put the medals over those people who would like medals put over by midshipmen. Some races in town have the Chippendales do their thing. We're more about being a little more modest and have a nicely
Classy.
dressed class midshipman give you the medal and hug you and
That's right.
that type of thing, or shake your hand.
So, what's the weather looking like for the race, Steve?
Well, I got to throw that one back at you, Phil, because you are. My wife calls you Puxatawny Phil, and it's for a good reason. You predict the weather.
I do.
But you better predict no rain, because
I had a good prediction
the rain.
a couple weeks ago. You had your thing on Facebook. I had to enter a little contest to guess it, and I thought it was gonna be like probably in the I think I said low 50s at race time, and that would have been a perfect start. Saying low humidity, low wind is gonna be a perfect race day. Now as we're getting closer, I've started looking looking at the models and everything, it looks like there's a little bit of precipitation in our future. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I think it's going to slide to the right a little bit for you, and it should be a good race day. I don't mind running the rain. I think rain's a great thing to run in, and it's refreshing. I know that most runners don't share my
And race organizers
and
don't
race
either.
organizers don't like it at all either.
But if you
I think
remember
we're
last
safe.
year, it drizzled a bit during the race. But I looked at the 5-day forecast before and after the race, so the 10-day, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky, and it drizzled on race day. So go figure. I mean, I won't. The only thing I worry about as a race director, there's two things: extreme cold, and I don't think we're going to see extreme cold, and extreme heat.
Yeah.
And if it's extreme heat, you start ordering bags of ice, and you're really bone up on that, and you know that. You put on races. The weather right now, it's pretty moderate.
It's
50
warming up
degrees.
this week a little bit, but it should cool off for your race on Sunday. Saturday would be a little bit different, but
Yeah, but even
not
60
bad.
to 70 degrees is still okay for a half marathon. We're off the roads. I mean, everyone's done by 11 o'clock before the real.
And if I remember, it's even kind of a shady course down most of that
It is.
GW Parkway.
The leaves are
here.
still on the trees on the parkway, and the only exposed part really is over the bridge and up the backside of National Harbor. But the first 8 miles is nice and shady.
And downhill.
The first half mile is vastly down, so take your time going down that
You
first
can
hill.
get yourself in trouble if you get on that hill too fast, but it's still a hell of a lot of fun.
All right, I want to ask if we got a couple minutes here. I want to ask about the mascot. The mascot. Everybody knows mascots don't talk. So, what does the mascot do? Is there any motions? Can the mascot do something? So when you're out and about, so there's the running motion. What
Yeah.
else? The mascot.
thumbs up
wait,
motion.
Yeah, the thumbs up.
That's right.
So when you
Can we
see-
teach them the tomahawk chop like Florida
No,
State?
no, we don't need that. No. So when you see the mascot at the expo or at the race day, don't try to talk to the mascot because everybody knows mascots. But he
You
can
can
give
talk to
you
him.
these guys, and you can give you the thumbs up, and he can give you the running motion.
Can they fist bump?
Oh yeah.
Fist bump?
Fist bump.
There, yeah. There.
See,
All right.
fist bump.
And they can ballroom dance apparently.
Ballroom.
Yeah.
Woody runs. Woody can
Woody
run.
will
Actually, he
run.
can
Okay.
run pretty fast.
Yeah.
He's
Look at
done
that
100
motion.
meter sprints and 200
Okay.
meters. He can move.
All right.
Pretty fast. He can dance. We've been around bands at Metro stops. At the Nationals game the other day, there was a band playing. He was dancing it up with the crowd. He was getting into it. So he dances. I mean, he is just very athletic. He was a huge baseball fan.
Okay.
So he threw out a lot of first pitches. If you look at a lot of the pictures of Woodrow Wilson, he's in the front row throwing out pitches. So he's used to being athletic. But he's taken up running now. He has gotten bitten the bug, just like you guys.
Yeah,
He's
that's
just
great.
totally
Keep them
addicted.
away from all the video games.
Well, it's
I
a
think that's
great,
good
great
idea.
idea, man. I love the mascot. Look forward to seeing him at the race, at the expo,
For years to
and,
come, yeah.
and everywhere around town here in the future, promoting your race all year round.
Go to Beat Woody and you'll see where he's going to be.
Go to the Beat Woody Facebook page. You can catch up any information you want to find out more about this race. You can go to wilsonbridgehalf.com. And this race is all going down on Sunday, October 6th at 7 a.m. 6th at 7 a.m. And wilsonbridgehalf, if you need .com to check out any more information. Registration is still available. The weather's going to be perfect. Come on and have a good run if the government will let us have the run. And
I'm predicting they will. I'm just throwing out there. I'm predicting they will.
Yeah. So Woody, thank you for joining us on the show. Steve, thanks for bringing Woody out here and joining us. Steve, it's always great to have you on.
Thank you for having
and
us.
It's always great to see Chris, and just
good times.
we'll keep on running.
And we've kept it clean.
And we kept it,
Well done.
and we will keep it clean next time on Gotta Get Running, guys. Bye bye, everybody.